Hello. I'm setting up my internet connection. Sorry. Hello though. I'm nearly ready done. Hope these are going well. Sorry for this delay. Hello though. I'm nearly ready done. USB. I shouldn't have pressed the live button, but I just wanted to be punctual. There it is. I think we're on. Good. Cheers. Small tubes. Cheers, bro. How you going, mate? That's the way. I'll just make sure the connection's good. Yes, it is. Sweet. All right. Hope everyone's feeling fine and dandy. Got share my screen. Settings. No. Present. Still got to get used to this. Hello, Desmond. Entire screen. So this is what we're going to go through today. All these slides. So it's a little bit. And actually, I should have done the first one. This is what we're going to be talking about today. This stuff here. A few people are rocking up. So this week's stuff, I'm going to talk about microbes rule. Why not to spray? Why they rule? Why they're cool? And some terpene stuff. Just briefly talk about that. Humic acid, what it does, why it does its process, how it's good, and why you should use it and include it in your program. So Q&A at the end or during. Actually, it can be during because I've got my tablet running now, so I can watch the chat at the same time. Not that I watch it, but I can try. And plant nitrogen. That was a request from, sorry mate, I can't remember, damn it. But I was going to go over a bit of plant nitrogen too. Which elements of nitrogen is required for the plant, because there's only 2 of them. All right, then I'll start. So g'day to, I'll say hello. G'day, Churro. Small tubes. Desmond, Huda 420. Jeff Papalia. How's it going? Guys and girls. All right, I'm going to look to share the screen. Got some really good news about the States. Holy mackerel. Come on, where's the share screen button? This bit. Allow. Here we go. Oh, we'll start positive first, hey? So boost your happiness with 5 science-based practices. Random acts of kindness, active listening, gratitude letter, mindful breathing. What was number 4? What, sign up? Oh, you're kidding. Anyway, that's what I thought was pretty cool. This is some oil you can buy in France at the moment. They're selling this over the counter. So it's quite good. Look at that, 10%, 1,000 milligram. Actually, 10% is 1,000. Anyway, I'm not going to go over the maths. Good on them. So that's been sold in. The reason why I put this on, because Australia needs to fix up there. You can legally get the CBD over the counter in Australia now, but it's out of supply. No one stocks it, and you can't get it. Great law. Oh, the Guardian newspaper in Australia has sent over $1 million fine to the TGA promoting. Oh, the TGA have sent out fines promoting prescription cannabis. So people are doing it illegally in Australia from big, massive companies. They're trying to do it, and the TGA are fining them $1 million. There you go. Infringements totaling that. Yeah, so it's, anyway, I'm just telling it. In the UK police, this is a reason why education is a must. The UK police say cannabis is just as harmful as crack or cocaine. And this is from the New Zealand Herald.com.co.New Zealand. So it's just the importance, just shows the relevance of education on how much education is really needed. What do I do here? My chat's gone on the other thing. This is about the microbes. I can't see the chat. Oh, I'll go to live chat. Ah, live chat. Oh, that's better. Oh, hello, sunshine. Yes, I said. All right, back to it. It's the importance of microbes. So The Phytosphere is above the ground, and the Rhizosphere is beneath the ground right next to the roots. And this is Phytosphere is next to the leaves. So the nutrient acquisition, so they acquire nutrients, abiotic stress tolerance, herbivore resistance, phytostimulation, so light stimulation, more chlorophyll absorption, and disease suppression. Disease suppression is massive. They do heaps of that sort. So that's the importance. Plants rely on microbes for many functions. Yes. These are the three that we'll know. The Umucetes, that's the family they're from, and Fusarium, Botrytis, and Psyllium, penicillin. I don't get the penicillin. I've actually got that. Actually, I'm not going to talk about my stuff. These are all waterborne. Actually, Botrytis isn't a waterborne Umucetes. Fusarium is. Anyway, I'll get onto it. The pest problems, you don't want to spray because it's so easy for pests to just be knocked out from anything. Pyrethrum, which is natural, which is really advised, and everybody suggests to do it, but it knocks all the bad stuff out. You can work through it sometimes, but in commercial instances, it's very hard for people, so that's why they spray. It sucks. Oh, here you go. And from the Guardian newspaper this week in Australia, 200 Australia. What have I written here? 200 Australia allows. More than 200 pesticides and herbicides are allowed and permitted in Australia, which are chemically banned overseas. Yes, so this sort of stuff hasn't been told enough. It's sad. The reason why you don't want to spray is there's toxic organic residues. And most of these people that do it, it's not a water-derived pesticide, which can just be it leached through the water or volatilized off, or it made inactive when it's dried out. They use oil-based ones which retain. Like here, what's this? Toxic organic hang on, there's also, I don't know about that one. This is the pesticide cycle. So it gets in, it becomes bioavailable in the soil, and then the plants uptake it. It can be leached out into our groundwater, and that's why in the USA, I think it's 95% of your water in the lower 48 is polluted through insecticides and pesticides from quite a lot of tests and studies that have been done. And that's not going away fast because it's in your groundwater. And that's only can be stopped from the application on the top because it gets leached off. Did you know also the Monarch butterflies aren't coming into the States anymore because of that reason as well? Because people are just using it too much. I'm not going to go on a bit. Biological tests in which the growth of higher plants in certain organisms can be measured as a sort of soil fertility. Yes, so if you're not cycling nutrients in your soil, it's because of the microbes. So there's a test that can be done for that. So you get I'm not going to go into it actually. See a chat. Let's go down here. Here we go. Who else? Jay Thomas. There you go, Jay Thomas and Critter. Do you know more about Humic Acid? Huda says. I don't, Huda. Sorry. Another name, / organic pesticide. Organic pesticide? Well, an organic pesticide is something that's safe for the plants and environment, like salts of potassium, fatty salts of potassium, pyrethrum, not pyrethrins or pyrethrines and stuff like that. That's the synthetic version, which takes longer to break down. Those basic ones are good, but again, whatever bug they'll touch, they'll get rid of. So it's only in desperate times, trying biological means or question. Sorry about that. PTP, how you going, mate? No wonder I get no bugs on my windscreen anymore, Jeff says. All right. Beneficial bugs is what we want. Yeah, like this fella. Look at him. Hey, g'day, champ. Yes, nice praying mantis. Oh, look at him. He's posing for the camera there. I thought like that one, eh? Yeah, good on you, fella. Oh, and congratulations to USA from your damn good president. Yes, Australia needs someone like Biden with his cannabis laws, how he's federally legalized it and pardoning people with possession charges. So if you've ever been charged with a possession, you no longer have any more because of this fella. And you can take it around the planes now. You can fly from Canada with it on you and legal, and once it's federally signed off, it's passed, but I don't think it's signed off. You can land with it, have it on you. It's just normal again. Well, it is again, because it was only been outlawed for 100 years. Up until that, it was legal in just about everywhere in the world. So yeah, it's pretty much 100 years to the date in the States, because it was in about the 1920s and 30s that it got outlawed in their medical journal. Interesting. So yeah, good on you, President Biden. Pardons for simple cannabis in the whole of the United States. Wowee, legendary stuff. Look at him. No, yeah, full respect from a lot of more people. Did you know that all the cannabis shares went up overnight because of this fella? Yep, he's going to make it a commodity, which it should be. And he said that, what did he also say? That he's petitioning the rest of the world to legalize it because of its strong medicinal properties. Bloody oath, mate. He knows the truth. He's been educated. The Australian government needs to listen to this bloke. And it was, to tell you what, they might be, because on the news last night in the ACT, they had 2 cannabis stories on. One about the testing, and about they're looking to you can get your hard drugs tested legally in downtown Canberra. And at the moment, they've set up a place, and you can get your cannabis tested there soon too. They're saying, why can't you? And far out, that will be bloody excellent. Instead of some university biasly, anyway. So it's good. So what's this? Federal USA cannabis prohibition puts patients at risk consuming pesticides. So this is some of the studies that have the results that have come back from all 4 states with the largest lists of regulated pesticide contaminants adopted the full list of the USA's. EPA maximum recommendation residue limits are here. So they're showing on the left the counts of jurisdictions. So there's been like 15 number of regulated pesticide contaminants. So more than 100 in some instances have been tested, in some commercial. This is commercial too. This is in the homegrown. Homegrown, I would hope, would have very little, because you're looking for a smokable product, not a sellable product, where these people are looking for a sellable product. So they just need to get anything out the door to pay their bills. But yeah, it just shows that's from the latest studies. Oh, check this out for technology. Woohoo! All you fungal heads, where's Raptor? Yes. How cool is this? This is grown out of fungus. I don't know the species. But, that's a shame. But anyway, it's been produced by fungi. It can replace leathers, they're thinking, in the future. And this is a prototype that they produced. I just think it's just so clever. That will be at breakdown. You could imagine feeding your shoes to your plants because they're organic. They'd have so much nitrogen and phosphorus in it, it's not funny. So you could organically break it down and give it to your plants. That's cool. All right, back to chat. She was 12, I was 30. I got sunshine. All right. Poops. G'day, Poops. How you going, Poops? Giving pardons, but not quite made legal yet, I think. Okay. Yeah, it's not legal then, sorry. Jeff, PTP, wheat testing at Lambert Uni for patients growing. Yes. Are they going to let the growers out? Jeff says, are they going to let the growers out? They're not going to let you. You'd have to, for trafficking is different. It's legalized for possession, but not for trafficking. So you can't just go and do whatever. So they're not going to let out people who have massive sentences. Maybe if you've got a few possessions or misdemeanors, you might be right. Danae M, it's been rescheduled. G'day, Leon. Hope you're well. Salute, Poops. Yes. All right, back to it. So this is humic acid. So I'm going to talk a bit about humic acid. I think that was one of the things, and why it's important. And humic acid, it's the black stuff. It's made up of humic acid, fulvic acid. There's humin, H-U-M-I-N in it, and trace elements. It's so important because, see in the top left here, it's humic acid's made up of your carboxyl and your hydroxyls, your phenolic group and your carboxyl group up the top here. And when they dissociate, which is very common, when it's added into the soil, they break down very fast. So they'll go into the COO, the carboxylate, and then I'll break off into the hydroxyl, the O-. And what it does is acts as see, it's an anion there. So it attracts all the cations, which is the positives. So we'll go underneath. So the copper, iron, zinc, magnesium, manganese, potassium, calcium, ammonium, iron, sodium, all of them are cations, and they get attracted to and stick and chelate with the opposite charge. So that's why it's really, really effective. So I'll go to B here, and the hydrophilic ends, they disassociate and form metal ions, and they bond with the surface. So it improves the soil structure, texture, and water holding capacity from adding humic acid. And over here, the humic acids, they chelate. So that's like we were talking about before. Their charges attract, and that's chelate. Chela is a Latin for claw. So it locks on and can transport things. So it'll lock on and transport it to the roots. And once it sits next to the roots, the organic acids will speak to it and unlock it. And that's when they can do the exchange. Down to D, sort of going on with that, how it sticks. And it's got the COO, the carboxylate, that bonds as well, that acts as an anion and can chelate with things. E, the humic acid replenishes nutrients in the soil and just buffers it. Yeah, so it's just by chelating it like it's set up there. And it also increases the plant hormone production, lateral root growth, enzymes, and soil microbes, which is so important, and nitrogen assimilation with enzymes through nitrogenase is the enzyme. And here's some effects that it has on some crops. So by adding humic acid with through vermicompost, these are how it's through its sources. This is what it's releasing, texture it's in, the crop that it's in, and this is what happens. So you can just briefly see it's increased the shoot and root length, increased chlorophyll, increased gibberella root, increased gibberella plant root biomass. Oh, okay, that must be in the type of, yep. So it's just increased a lot of things. There's quite a few bonuses from it. This is how long the test was done for. So they're year-long tests. What's this in here for? It's telling its transport path. It gets broke down. Yeah, increases. Sort of already covered all this. That's its signaling pathway. Righto. All right. Out of that, I'll better go back to see if there's anything on humic acid. Linnaeus, SLU, PTP. Only people with personal amounts get released. PTP says yes. They're thinking of weed out of S1. It's currently up there. Poops. Any sense of adding humic acid to quality nutrient like canna? Or do these nutrient lines already have it in it, all sorted out? Good question, Poops. They should already have it in it. You'll be able to tell because a few drops of the humic acid, it goes jet black real fast, like mega fast. It's all of the broken down and decomposed materials that are in it. I should show something that says what it's in it. So you'll easily see if it's in your solutions it'll just go jet black. It's very similar looking to if you add kelp to your mix, it'll go that real black color, real dark brown color fast. That's when you'll know if it's in it. And if it's not in it, you've seen what it's potentially can do. So by adding it to your mix, it gives a lot better nutrient availability and cycling through your plant. Hope that helped, mates. Yep, I should actually share some more on that. Actually, where was I up to? Jobs. All right, I'm going to stop. I'll go into a bit more detail. Actually, you can see my computer. I'll just show you on my computer. I'm going to show you. Soil science. No. That's another thing at the end. No, soil science. I was going to show you something on the humic acid. Actually, I don't know where it is, so I should probably keep going. Humic acid. What it's derived of. A little bit here, if I can't find it in a few seconds. No, it's not going to, no, sorry. I'll go back to where I was at. Jobs. Canna jobs. Sorry, Poops, I'll have to. I have some raw humic acid. That stuff never leaves a residue on everything. Yeah, it's really good. Humic acid's good for foliar sprays too. I add it as a 1-part mix to a 4-part kelp mix for a micronutrient blend. If I'm not seeing any deficiencies, I'll just do it as a normal foliar blend and maybe put some beneficial microbes in it too. So try and include it in your foliar sprays as well. It adheres through different openings, hydrothodes, the stomata, dermal tissue, so it gets in. Make it at a low ppm level though, like only sort of about 150 ppm with your foliars, so you're not going to get any problems. You don't want any saltings or any salt builds up or tip burn. I went over foliar a couple of weeks ago and did a bit of detail on its benefits and how it does and how it gets into the plant. This is to do with canna jobs and entrepreneurships. Because it's legalized everywhere now, it's becoming everywhere legal. People should be considering it. We have an upper hand with our experience, and all we need is a little bit of education, and bang, we're ahead of any person because they can't buy experience. So everybody's got to consider getting a future with your canna jobs. And this is to infuse. So this is just another one with you people who get into your drinks. See, THC free. It's only got CBD, which so at the moment, this is probably legal at the moment to be sold in Australia. I like this. This is old school stuff. So this is the term marijuana. It should be marijuana or cannabis. The reason why I call it cannabis is because marijuana is termed from Mexicans, and it was also slanged by Henry Anslinger in the early 30s and early 19th century, 20th century, and when Prohibition went around, and that's why. But I thought this is pretty cool. This is just from the pharmacies in Mexico. 1846, Cannabis indica sativa. There it is. Look in the top right. Yes, good fun. I like the old stuff. All right, next. For medical use only, yes. This was a cool article in Forbes magazine that suggests that medical cannabis will replace opioids for pain relief. And because it's so greedy, the Australian government realises this, and they're not letting anybody do it because they want to cash in first. This is the benefits you can get out of pain-related relief from THC and CBD compared to other over-the-counter pills like GABAs, tramadol, and all of the oxys and stuff, the bad ones that people are addicted to. So I'll only consider it here in the top right. I've shown this a while ago. I'll show it again now because it's cool. The blue colour is the pain relief. Just below it is the yellow, quality of life. So we'll go over here. They're all blue. They all get good pain relief. But then we'll go to the yellow, the quality of life. And look over here on the left, the CBD, THC. Huge quality of life. THC, huge. Down here, GABAs, small, opiates, smallest. And we all know that. Ibuprofen has no quality of life. Yes, because they all lie to you, the doctors. But this is just backs up. In other words, it's a good study on the effects. That's right, into the terpenes now. Just briefly on terps. Terpenes are the other constituents. So this is to do with the cannabinoids and unlocking the receptors in the cannabinoids. Like the THC unlocks your CB1, CB2, your CBD, and unlocks your TPRV1, TPRV2, and there's various other ones, the GP55s and things. And also your terps unlock many receptors. So, and you know that from being with Anyway, I was going to explain myself with something, but I can't see it. So I'll just get back to it. The terpenes are, this is how they're structured. So they go on their isoprene units and the number of carbon atoms. So the monoterpenes have 2 isoprenes and 10, and then sesquiterpene 3, and it keeps going down 15, and just their carbon atom chain that gets longer as their terpene profile gets longer, and it goes right out down the end. So with your monos, they're like your sessile trichomes that haven't been developed. And once it gets a bit developed, you're starting to get into the more complex terpenes. And their uses have anti-everything. So this is just the terpenes only, not the CBD or the THC or cannabinoids. This is the uses. So many uses, everything. So that's why cannabis is a multi-spectrum drug and should be used as a multi-spectrum drug. So this is the Wikipedia version of terpenes. There's more than 30,000 compounds, 30,000 different types that are in each variety. So that's why you've got to see which variety suits you. And who cares about me? Terpene classification chart. This is like we're talking about their isoprene level up the top, and this is some of their classification levels underneath. So the monos are like the pinene, myrcene, limonene, linalool, ocimene, those real basic ones, and then it goes up, and phytol, that's the GABA, that's the rad one. Yes, and it just goes up like that. So you can see which ones work for you. Like for me, I'm looking for floral ones, anti-spasmodic ones type. Actually, there's a chart up here that says that. I'm looking for the floral type ones, which is really the anti-spasmodic, anti-epileptic to help me with my epilepsy. So I'd go down this chart here and see, oh, cool. All right, I want a lot of, that's a bit complex actually to go into what I was just saying. This is over here on the right. It tells you what's in the variety. So if you see the terpene profile of inside of your plant that you're buying or you're growing, you can see what it's made up of and why it agrees with you. The pain specialist asked me a question a while ago and said, why was one of his patients not feeling the effects of her CBD anymore? And he said she was buying the same brand, everything. It just changed all of a sudden. And I said, it's because the secondary metabolite profile changed. And it was, say, for instance, bugs came in. So the plant had to put out different types of terpenes and flavonoids to protect itself and attract different things. And that gives the different effects and produces the different types of these different profiles. So that's why the different effect was held. Better go back to chat. Lene, it's rescheduled. Salute. Oh, yep, read that. Poops. Any sense of yes, there is. I have some more. Hey, Lene. Me for radness. Nice terpene chart. Thanks. Back to it. So this is one of the cimene, a secondary terpene in cannabis, reacts with oxidants and is known to attack rubber. In fact, researchers have conducted experiments that dissolved polystyrene with this terpene. Pretty cool. See, cannabis, medical cannabis, bloody excellent stuff. What's this? 3 of the top 4 terpenes in cannabis may be one day powering our vehicles. Fair income. Pinene has been found suitable for operation of supercharged engines. Limonene has performed well in experimental external combustion engines, and beta-caryophyllene is currently under development mass production as a biofuel. There you go. Terpene importance. More weed for everyone. Myrcene is fantastic for pain. Very, very good. Yes, it's found in highly fragrant plants and herbs such as non-cannabis. Why would you say the cannabis varieties? It's from Dutch Patcher. God, some people are lazy. It volatiles off at 167 Celsius. Righto, that's like 300 F. That's pretty high. So if you want your myrcene, don't consider that. Vaporize above that to receive it, or extract below that to receive it. Ocimene is one of our lowest volatile terpenes, volatile at 50 Celsius or about 120, 125, 130 Fahrenheit. And that's very important for your uplifting and energizing effects. So if you've done an extraction of your sativa and you've found that you're not getting those, drop your temperature and you will get the full effect of ocimene. Oh, walking lightly. Made it. G'day, walking lightly. Do you know about hemp and fuel? Says Huda. Yes, I do. Biofuel. Yep, so you've got to put it through a secondary process and it's just biodiesel, it is. And you've got to break it down and put it through a anaerobic fermentation process and make it produce the alcohol, the methanol it is. And then, yeah, I'm not going to go into it. This is an Australian show, but it does go overseas, so I could explain it. But yeah, that's how they do it though. Sunshine, walking. Nice to see you walking lightly. Most things in mangoes too, says Lene. Yes. Chow down. And this is that chart I showed you before, which has over here on the left all of the different terpenes, and up the top they're kind of their feels, or their what they appear to us as. Like lemon is in citronelle or citrelle. All right, next. Look at this spiffy photo of the trikes. Hey, look at that electroscanning microscope of the trikes just zoomed in. That's so rad. I love it. So you can see on the left here, that's just got its stalk happening. So it's just out of its sessile. So this one down here is a sessile trichome, and that's a stalked capitate where it's already. So that would definitely have its sesquiterpene terpenes. It wouldn't be in the monos like in this one here at the front. All right. Oh, yeah, that's right. An organic nitrogen versus normal nitrogen. Can you please do a video on hemp and fuel? Says who to 420. Well, it's not really, because it's extraction, mate, and we're not allowed to do extraction. And it's processing the plant. Yeah, I don't know about that. Laws are changing fast, so I'm sure it won't be long before I'll be permitted where I can do stuff like that. Go right into detail on that sort of fun side of things. Get the full benefit out of every inch of the plant. So organic nitrogen versus inorganic nitrogen. Organic nitrogen refers to the nitrogen atoms that occur in the organic compound. So if they're attached to a carbon chain, that means they're organic, or a hydrogen proton chain, that means they're organic. Inorganic means that they haven't got any type of chain attached to them, carbon or hydrogen. That's the only difference. And major forms of inorganic. Well, there's a lot more than that. Oh, that's the major: NH4, NO3, N2, NO2. Yeah. All right, I'm going to go on with it because there's a bit of detail here. Excess of nitrogen in the rhizosphere. This is what happens. So there's only two forms of nitrogen the plant can uptake, and that's your ammonia and your nitrate, which is your NH4 plus or your NO3 minus. So by giving excess amounts, this is what happens on the roots. So no lateral roots, nitrogen concentration sufficient and high. All right, look at the lateral roots here, which is the ones going off the side. So it's not high, it's a 3/4. Really good. Down here, and it gets less and less as it's struggling. So it just shows what you're doing if you're putting too much nitrogen in the soil. And the next question will be, well, how do we know how much to put in the soil? Well, that's right. I'm getting some test kits put together where it's going to cost about 50 cents to $1 to do one test of your soil. Because at the moment, I'm struggling to find them, because in all my soil science stuff, they're saying, test this, test this. How the hell can we test it? The cheapest we can get is send something to the CSIRO, and they spend $80 like that. Or it's an amount where we've got to get it tested. And to do it properly, you've got to do a zigzag pattern form across a plot. So it's numerous tests. So you're looking in the thousands. So it's not feasible for the home grower, but it has to be feasible. Like, we've got to change shit. So got this stuff. I'm in the process of talking to this company about doing it. So if you're interested in testing your own elements, like properly for precision agriculture, that's what I'm getting into, because I want to know. I want my soil, I want it to last the cycle. I want to know why it's not lasting. I want to know what's best for it, which one's a nitrogen pig, which isn't a nitrogen pig. You can all read this from the roots, from the leaves, but you'll get into the deficiencies. And I want to always grow in the sufficiencies, not in deficiency. Or there's another thing called hidden hunger, where it's just above deficient, but just below the maximum yield. So that's another problem area. Sorry for going on. Nitrogen fixation is a vital nutrient required for plants' growth. It fixates, biologically, nitrogen fixation is mediated through disotropic, which means that disotropic is like a saprophyte. Actually, no, it's not. Disotropic means it breaks nitrogen down from the atmosphere. Sorry, Jesus, getting so confused. Nitrogen fixation is an energy-intense process and requires abundant supply of energy. This is the, so if you're going to do it, you're going to make up, this is, what to put this in here? It's a bit full on. This is how to, electron donor. So if you've got ammonium and if you want to multiply them, I don't want to talk about this. Get in trouble for it. This is to do azos, beryllium, brassiancy. This is a plate. So if you want to test your soil to see what it is, you can do a plate culture. That's about all I can really say on this one, I suppose. Oh, and down here you can see where they've got the, you can see if you put it in and you've got your nitrogen, which is 70% in the atmosphere, and azos, they're a biological, atmospheric, non-symbiotic nitrogen-fixing bacteria. And see in the plate here where they put it in the center, that means that all the nitrogen's been eaten around the outside and it's spreaded. So that proves that it's a nitrogen-fixing bacteria. That's how you can prove that if you've got it in your soil, you can plate it. Next, come on, is that it? That must be it. That can't be it. Nitrogen. Oh, that's right. Then I was going to go with the other nitrogen thing, which was this bit, which is nitrogen is the most abundant, important in the atmosphere, in the plant. It maintains its 1.5% of its necessary inputs. Above that is only carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, which makes up 95% of the plant. Oh, anything in the chat? Mercy, can you please, Beast, best of the morning. Same to you. So 78% of the air is nitrogen. It must be converted to the two available forms, which is ammonium and nitrate for the plant. The nitrogen process is only in three types. There's mineralization, nitrification, and mobilization. So mineralization is where they take the organic nitrogen and convert it into ammonium, as an example. So it's mineralized. So it's taken out of something, and the carbon and the hydrogen chains, atoms are blocked, taken out, it's broken down, and it's in the elemental form. Nitrification is where it's ammonium is converted to nitrate, it's getting oxidized and broken down, it's oxidized into a different form. And what about volatilization? That's another form too, where it goes and gets broken into the atmosphere. So mobilization is the third one they say here, where inorganic nitrogen turns into organic nitrogen. And that's where inorganic, so it'll be inorganic, so it'll just be like NH3, just sitting there as an element, and it'll be turned into organic, so it'll be chopped onto a carbon chain, it'll be absorbed by, say, cyanobacteria, which they're all green inside, you can see all the chloroplasts, so that's immobilized. So it's got nitrogen inside of it, and it can't be readily used because it's immobile. The nitrogen gains biological, fertilization, or organic, and it can be leached out through losses through many ways, through volatilization, denitrification, erosion, and water. All right. I'm not going to go into this very much. I'm nearly done for today. That's the cycle. This is the inorganic nitrogen cycle. Is there anything good to show you here? You really want, in cannabis, we want non-symbiotic nitrogen fixation. So people talk about rhizobium, that's only to do with legumes. We want non-symbiotic, which is azos and benjis. See if I got something on that. Another way that you get the nitrogen out of the environment is through the air, believe it or not. So when lightning strikes, it reacts with the oxygen in the air, and it forms nitrogen. The dinitrogen changes and it forms into readily available nitrogen that can be caught with the rain and drop down. So if you're in an area which is heavy with light thunderstorms, you'll notice it's quite green outside, and that's the process. It's getting fertilized from the lightning. Other ways it can do it through breaking down when the hydrosulfide or nitrogen oxide reacts, it gets deposited. Synthetic or industrial uses, that's a bit full on actually. We'll talk about the inorganic forms of nitrogen. There's many forms, so this is the way that it can be inorganic. and forms of other things. This is very important down the bottom. Usually only 2 to 5% of the soil or your substrate contains soil nitrogen. And out of that form, the chances of being NH4 ammonium or NO3 is even lower again. So that's why it's good to test and know these things. Nitrogen can be leached out easily. Remember, it's an anion, NO3, and the same as soil colloids. They have a negative charge, so it's not going to grab on, so it can just slip out. That's why it's leached out. And ammonia can be exchanged and be made into NH3, which is the gas, ammonia, and it's lost into the atmosphere. So it's hard with nitrogen. There's a few different techniques you can do to lock it in and keep it. I'm not going to go on about all this stuff. Mineralization, carbon, nitrogen. There was something else up here which is pretty cool. Different types of, that's its process through the nitrosomes when it gets, that's the ammonification process, and then it turns it into the nitrite, and then nitrobacter turns it back into the nitrate. Any questions? I better look. Shit. Oh, that's right, the temperature. This is the last thing I think. I did want to. The temperature has great effects on your nitrogen. So if you keep your soil temperature, and for all you F-heads in the States, this is easy for you. So if you've got your soil or your substrate temperature at 62, you're only unlocking 70% out of what it could be. If it's up here, 62, sorry, this is an Australian stream. 62 is 17 Celsius. So if you've got it really cold, which you don't want, you want it at least above here, where it's 72 Fahrenheit, that's equal to 22 Celsius, and I run mine, I like 24, which here, look, it's got 100% availability for it. So it's, yeah, another factor. The reductions on time-based, so if you've got it higher temperatures, it's going to release quicker because the processes are going to be faster. And look, you can store it in there longer, it's colder. Anyway, that's about it, I think. Better go back. Oh, a few questions. What's ammonium nitrate percentages you want to test for the soil? Well, the test kits, I'll show that. What ammonium nitrate percents do you want in your soil test? You want them at about, well, I've only got the available tests for the per hectare. I haven't broken down into, I have broken down square meters, but it's a number that you want to test. It's like between 250 to, there's a point in showing you. I'll have to find it though. There's a number that you get to, and it tells you if it's in a low, a mid, or a high range. And what you want to do, you want to test at certain times. So you want to test after you apply, 3 months after you apply fertilizer. You want to test before you're going to plant a crop, after you plant a crop, and then after you harvest. So you know all the status of your soil, what's going on. So you can build up a bit of a plot and know how much of a pig, how much it's using at what different stages. And then you can try and implement for those stages to fix it so there's no deficiencies and you're only getting a sufficiency outcome. And most test kits, they test for total nitrogen, which is total. It's everything. It tells you like 10 elements. What the hell is the point in that? Exactly right. So we need test kits for ammonium or nitrate, which is the two usable nitrogen sources for plants. And I've even asked this company which form, because I've got the test kit which is available nitrogen, which is how you test, and available phosphate, available potassium. Actually, potassium is potassium, but they're telling me I've written to ask specifically which form of available nitrogen it is, just so I know, because it's a good question, Huda. We need to know that stuff, mate, because there's not enough accuracy on it. So therefore, again, we've got to guess, and we don't need to guess. If we can have a tool that can test things for us and we can put it into a bit of a chart and reference it, sweet. This is what we've got to do. Oh, is that the number we've got to give? Or is that what we should do next time? Or, oh, I should use more slow release fertilizer. Oh, I should maybe sulfur coat. I'm going on, sorry. Next question is, if soil is 24C, what does that mean the outside temperature will be? Well, it depends, mate, what environment you're in. When I was outdoors, when it was very hot, I used to paint my pots white because it used to reflect the sun, and it used to drop them about 3 or 4 degrees Celsius, make 10 or 12 Fahrenheit. It worked really, really well. So it depends to how long. Remember, soil has a, what's it called? Staggering, no, where the temperature has a lagging effect. So it will, if it's very hot for 10 hours, it'll absorb it. But if it's very hot for 1 hour, it won't really absorb it. So it's difficult. If the soil's 24, what does that mean for the outside temperature? I'll put this invite thing in. There's the invite. If anyone's got any video questions, or Dr. Nexus, hope you're doing well, Dr. Nexus, mate. I hope that helps sort Huda 420. Yeah, soil temperature is majorly important. It's forgotten about too much because you've got to cycle your microbes too. You've got to protect them. And certain temperatures and pHs they don't like as well. So that's what we're really going for. Then if you protect your microbes, they'll protect your roots. Oh, up here, I forgot that. Thanks, Bugie and the Beast. Appreciate the educational videos. Big ups. Yep. If you've got any questions, mate, you're more than welcome to ask. I like to help where I can. I don't know everything, but I just try and help from my slides that I have studied in, that I do talk on. We know lots about microbes in the soil. How much do we need? How much do we know about microbes in the plants and their role? They're called endophytes. They're the microbes that live inside of it. Well, there's Rhizosphagus regularis. That's a type of beneficial fungi that lives inside your plants that works with it. And I've proved that because you can, I've put it into my line, and then you dry out the stem, and then it'll go into spore form, and then you'll put it into favorable conditions to get it back up, and then those spores sprout, germinate, and you'll see it. And that's how I know about the beneficial fungi inside. Hey, Baker Perkins, there you go, mate. Thanks for your support. Yeah, it's just like Baker Perkins helped out. There's a thing here. I'll come back to that. Baker's reminded me. Good on you, buddy. I want to share that. There's to help me out with my stuff because I'm pretty poor, and blokes like Baker have really trying to help, and I appreciate it. So back here, it was in last week's. I didn't even put it in this week's. This is last week's stuff. But here, it's got the YouTube subscribing things. So I put in four rates. So 5 is for support. It comes out every month. I mean, remember that too. If you do press the subscribe, it's like an every month thing. You have to go into PayPal, undo it. And $80 if you do that. I'll give you all my lecture links. There's heaps of private ones which I haven't unlocked. And there's something, and got some spreadsheets that I could send you out also. For the novelty gift is down here for the 150. That's the spreadsheets and the charts that I've made up. Yep. And for people that need help for going through any legal processes or any types of doctor processes, I could help out. And down that's a one-off one, a 20-minute call. Down here is a weekly call for 300. And that's for companies as well. But I could help out with doctors or any type of company that's going into any type of problems or needs advice from someone who's, from myself. That's an option I've opened. So I wanted to explain that too. All right, thank you. Thanks, Baker. Back to it. How do you know soils in the plants? No, this one. This is this week's. That's the endophytes. And well, I explained the fungi in the plants, the beneficial fungi, like through Rhizophagus regularis, and how you can test it. The beneficial fungi, bacteria. What are they? You've got me off the chart now. Beneficial endophytes, the ones that inside of it, and how have I tested them? Well, they're everywhere. There's in the root tip I can talk about it. It's called a rhizophagy cycle, where they show, g'day Mick, there you go mate, the rhizophagy cycle. Actually, I might even be able to share this rhizophagy. It's a pretty good little talk. It's about the microbes that are associated inside the plant. They go inside through the root tips and out through the root hairs. No, in the root hairs and out through the root tips. Share screen. I'm going to try and look at this for you, Buddha, because it's a pretty interesting thing. All right, now let's get to my plant science section. Organic farming, plant science, Rhizosphere scale. Maybe it's in plant science. No. Is it in here? Rhizosphere? No. Uh-oh. Shit. I had it somewhere. Microbes, it might be. Another file. Rhizosphere, there it is. See? It's to do with microbes. So this is the Rhizosphere scale cycle, where it goes in through the root tips and out through the root hairs. So microbes, and they're up in the top right-hand corner there. You can see the bacteria, and they've stained them, and that's what the blue stains here on the left-hand corner here. So they stay in, and on the slow release, they can see where they cycle through. So bacteria enter through the epidermal cells. Yep. That's them inside of it. So you can see the different types of microbes. They react with superoxide. Rhizosphere. So that's the Rhizosphere microbes. They trigger root hair elongation, branching, and root and shoot elongation. Gravitropic responses means it just goes down and follows gravity. Bermuda grass. Where's some other little cool things? Why is a hair root growth linked to the presence of intracellular bacteria? Asks Hooter. So no microbes. Oh, look, Pseudomonas fluorescens. Inoculate. I use Pseudomonas fluorescens, and that is one to fight Pythium, and it works well. You can, I'm not going to tell you how to make it. Yes, so there you go. They inoculated with Pseudomonas fluorescens, and they found their experiment to their growth hypothesis worked. What stimulates root hairs to elongate? Ethylene, they reckon. Is that really right? This is a hypothesis. Let's get into some facts. Tomato seeds. Stained with 1% ammonium and molybdate. And you can see it in the tip there. Yes. Note purple around the bacteria. So they've just gone and stained that. So the purple, so they secrete ethylene around those bacterias. I think I've gone into it a bit. Root hair. What happens to plants without the Rhizosphere? All right. Well, the endophytes removed from the rice on the left, and on the right, the endophytes, Pseudomonas from Phagomites australis, inoculated to restore development. So you can see on the left, the endophytes were removed. And it didn't promote the growth. That was the outcome of it. So on the right, sweet, left, not. So it just helps with growth, branching, hormones. It's just the cycle. It completes the cycle, like us. But, you know, we're made up of 50%, at least 50% bacteria. I think, back to the questions. Oh, shit. Baker, banana farmer, cheers, mate. Sunshine and rainbows. Have you got all this backed up? I don't know what you're referring to, mate. I'm showing you all my notes, so I don't know what you mean. This is Stony Creek. Here you go, Stony. Good one, Aussie. Gonna have to rewind it. Montana. Cheers, Montana. Monty 420. Here you go, Monty 420. And this was the nitrogen. So from the introduced the Rhizosphere bacteria, they were found that it actually improved nitrogen by from 0.3 to 0.5. So that's nearly that's 30%. So on all different bacillus species they put in here, it improved it. So this is the internal microbes with phosphorus. So it's gone and improved your phosphorus by 0.12 to 0.18. So that's 50%. Yep, from using bacteria successfully. And really, truly, you've got to use bacteria because it's going to be there anyway. And if you don't put shitloads there, you're going to have the chance for one or two pathogenic ones to move in, and they're going to proliferate. They're going to be opened like there's going to be nothing there because you keep stuff too clean and sterile. And once you get a problem, it spreads fast, real fast. Potassium difference, 0.4 to 1 to 120, 3 times. Big difference. Sulfur, calcium, manganese, magnesium, they're all gone up. So the beneficiaries of adding microbes internally, which is endophytes, are massive. There you go, mate. Hope that helped a bit. All right. Back to it. Your hard drive. Oh, backed up on your hard drive. Nah, I don't know what you mean backed up on your hard drive, but I've got all this stuff put. I've got all this. This is my study, so I've got my study notes put everywhere. So if my computer fails, I've still got them. I can't lose these. These are, oh shit, hours, mate. Yeah. Oh, who just got another question? Do you know about effective microorganisms? A Japanese product made from fermenting rice husks. Fermenting rice husks, that might be bokashi you're talking about, possibly. Bokashi is very beneficial. It's fermented grain that's got microbes on there that have dried and they've formed spores. You know, a prokaryotic cell, this looks like a pill. It's in the shape of a pill. The front half is for the microbe. The back half is for, it makes a little tablet, little seed, it's called. And that's its spore. So once it dries up, it can reproduce itself again, given favorable conditions. That's why microbes are everywhere. That's how they work. So Japanese. So I'm not sure about that, mate. I hope it's bokashi what you're talking about, because yeah, bokashi is good. I use it. Can you answer that, Hooter, for this? Because I'm needing a bit more information, buddy. Oh, just done an or about bokashi. Okay, thanks. I should read on. Sorry. Greetings from Bundy. Yeah, Bundy. Cool place. White ashes, that is. How you going, white ashes? Bokashi would be like making mycelium. Yeah. It's funny how people put yeah and right at the end. I researched that the other day. I looked into it, and they reckon that that's an English virus that people's got, and they can't. Yeah, and I just thought it was very funny because it's been getting more prevalent, and people put the word right at the end. I don't know what the hell that turns into a sentence all of a sudden, and I've got to rehash what they've said. It's difficult. Bokashi would be like making mycelium. Yes, that's the way I understand it too, Monty. You've got to ferment it. So you've got to, well, ferment it. Fermentation is in the process of low oxygen or no oxygen. So it's going to proliferate and make all those microbes double like they do when they make wine. So yeah, it's a cool process. I've never done it. I do it with oxygen because without oxygen, that's where all the dangerous ones happen. Your Clostridium, all just the bad ones that you don't want. They all come from there, and they don't like oxygen. That's why you can't really get sick from microbes in the air. So I haven't really played around with fermentation and that sort of stuff. It's, I don't know, yeah, just haven't got there yet. Thanks for the question, though. Oh, here we go. White ashes, are there bad effects from using too much Bacillus subtilis? Are there bad effects from using subtilis? Too much? Well, inducing it. Well, using too much? No, I wouldn't think so, because it's a very beneficial bacteria. It really has numerous things. They've even reckoned that it helps with powdery mildew and stuff like that in late flower stage. I've never tested that. I put it as a IPM measure. It's in through my mixes and blends, and I put it in as a foliar spray too. And if I've got any type of a problem, I'll always include that in my blend. They'll build up a culture wherever they are. So if you want to try and make them too strong, you might want to add too much, and then it might fix what you're trying to add them in their strength for. Possibly, why would you be using it too strong, though, is the question to start with, maybe. White ashes. Why is the question? Yeah, get back to me on that one, mate, because, yes. All right, next question. Kevin Jodry promotes Bokashi in his top 3 applications. Yes. Well, it's beneficial microbes. Anywhere where you can get beneficial microbes are going to help. That's what the soil is. 1 gram of soil has, or your substrate should have 1 billion different species of microbes. B for billion. Shitloads. That's how it functions. The plant is symbiotic with microbes. It can't grow unless with them. Well, it can't grow with them. Well, in space or in a tissue culture, for instance, when it does grow, you've got to really just give it its 19 requirements and what it wants specifically, and you're not going to get any addition. So you've got to bottle feed it with synthetics. You can't no chance in organics at all, because the process will have to be, the minerals have to be broken down in organics first. Camandrondry, fermented sativa buds, Bacillus lactic acid. No, that's not. Lactic acid bacteria is your bifidus, your what's the flavid, lactobacillus ceridophytus. No, what's the other one? There's a few. It's not bacillus though. Bacillus isn't a lactose species. Yeah, I'm going great today. Cheers, Aussie. Good on you, mate. Lune, sunshine. I'll tell you something. Oh, that's a bit negative. God damn. Why shouldn't we listen to him? Who says? Oh, at Monty. I'll tell you something. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's just be a matter of opinion. Be something. Everybody, we're not computers. We all make mistakes. Someone's picked up on a huge mistake that he's made, and that's unfortunate. Well, yes. What's this one? Oh, yeah. That was a paper on humic acid. What was the point in that? Oh, at the end is the conclusion. I can read you the conclusion. Otherwise, that's it, guys and gals. For today, not much. I've run out of stuff to talk about. So the review of humic acid has potential significant effects on crop performance and soil quality parameters. The review identified several factors: performance enhancing source, the chemical and molecular structure, solubility, and other factors improved. The review was done in the lab and the field. Yeah, so it's, yeah, okay, cool. How do I end that big screen now? Shit. Very good. Right, back to today's stuff. That was today's. All right, thanks everybody. Is there any other questions? Monty, what do you say? Everyone's aware of the Pizzagate. There's a bit of him. Right. There's something to learn for everybody. I don't have much predators. Oh yeah, white ashes. That's right. I don't have much predators, so I got to spray it a lot to keep the caterpillar. Oh no! Don't use them for caterpillars, friend. Use neem. Get neem. NEEM. Neem's good for caterpillars. And safe. Very safe. Bacillus subtilis won't do anything for caterpillars. Nothing at all. Hope that helps, mate. Yeah, if you've got any problems, any deficiency, any toxic problems, any things like that, welcome to share it, and I can just share my input. Because, yeah, mate, you've just wasted a bit of money on your subtilis. It explodes their stomachs. Bacillus subtilis explodes their stomachs. I really doubt that. I'll take on what you said, but just from once there takes microbes inside of them, Why would it explode? Like it's a different solution? The only thing, if it went into a hypertonic solution, which means that's where the solution, the solutes are different potentials, so it'll exude into the other one, similar to how a plant's water potential acts with its cohesion tension theory. If Bacillus subtilis went into its guts, it would only just rupture a smidgen. Did you know that the whole lifespan of a microbe or bacteria is get a pen, dot it on a piece of paper? That's the whole lifespan of a microbe. That was that one. Yes. Here we go. For white ashes, Monty reckons use pure crop one. Actually, pure crop one's good. It's got a lot of pure crop one's got heaps of ornamentals in it, botanical sprays in it. It's got like onion and garlic and capsicum and all that sort of stuff in it. So it's really cool. If it's the one I'm thinking of. Thanks, Monty, for helping out. White ashes. Must be a bucket o'clock, says Mick. It's always a bucket o'clock, mate. Bloody oath it is. White ashes genetics being number one. That's right. Well, white ashes comes from how you flush it. You can have grey or black ashes as well if you load up and then harvest your plant. You want to let your plant finish on itself, and that's when you'll get it very nice. Oh, here's another question. Whatever do you do, don't spray on flower. That's right. Unless you want to eat it or ingest it or combust it, don't spray it. So just dead set, don't spray. Look at why you got the problem and then fix it for next time. That's it, because we all make mistakes. I've made so many bloody mistakes, and everyone is not a mistake. It's a learning lesson. If I make the mistake, if I make that learning lesson twice, that's when I made a mistake. I consider it. I do have a question I missed. If you, what is it, mate? Ask your question, please, Critter. Neem cake. Yes, neem cake mix in the soil. Yes, that's a long-term prevention. Yep. Neem spray is really, really good for immediately action. Thanks for your support. Walking lightly. Aussie Groshos, cheers. Long on, he reckons. I always try to stay away from neem because I've heard oils and soil don't mix. Neem's safe, mate. Neem's it's a safe oil where it's it'll volatiles off. When it breaks down into safe constituents. It's made up of azadirachtin. The azadirachtin is a leading constituent in it. It's also got a thing called ectonimban in it, which is another thing that really, really helps with neem to be organic. It's really good stuff, mate. Yeah. See, this is the thing. So if you really want to go on about it, I can show you and go into, because my studies are in India, and they use neem is bulk everywhere. I've got a lot of literature on neem, a hell of a lot. That's why I can tell you a bit about it, and it's really, really good. They're also for organics. Well, I'm only being taught the organic way, or the way to help the environment. To get a good yield, you do need possibly some types of synthetics, maybe, if it's the microbes and everything isn't set up correctly. But off the track. Add salicylic acid to help fight caterpillars. No. Your plants are already releasing salicylic acid. So when the bugs come in and harm your plants, they'll put out a signal to fend off. So they'll put out two signals. One's to fend off and one's to attract. So they'll put out signals to defend off, which will warn other plants through allelopathy. And that has salicylic properties in that. It can change into methyl salicylic, and then the plants will receive that, and then transform it into salicylic acid, activating their immune process. So salicylic acid helps in the building a resistance inside of your plant in your genetic lineup. That's what that does. Critter, can I use too much product in my teas? As yesterday, I put about 9 products in. Can this be too much if I'm new to teas? Oh, Yes. Yeah, it goes on your salinity levels. So if you feed anything that's saline, which is too hot or rich in nutrients, to your plant's roots or your leaves, it's going to not like it. That level is about 2,000 ppm, and 3,000 ppm is the dangerous level. So with your teas, try and dilute them to be about 1,500 at the max, or about 1,000 in veg. Then you won't have any problems. Otherwise, yes, you can run into problems, because you can make your tea so freaking rich. I've got my tea so rich that it doesn't even register on the ppm meter. It's above 10,000 parts per million. So if I was to apply that, holy hell, shit would shrivel fast and it'd be all over. Good question, Critter. Hope that helped, mate. I've done a pretty good study on teas, actually. Anyway, this show's gone long enough. Maybe you can ask next time for my study results. I did a month-long study on it and plotted the chart. BT in clone. Yes, Bacillus thuringiensis is a really good predatory bacteria that you can use. It forms white musculin disease. That's very, very beneficial as well. Who was that? White ashes for your, I forgot about that. Good on you, walking lightly. I use Bacillus thuringiensis in what do I use it in? For if I've got any problems, I just used it to kill some whitefly. Just an experiment, and it worked in the compost. Yeah, that's a really, really good. You can use that. That's way better than Bacillus subtilis. Good on you, walking lightly. White ashes. Don't use neem oil, neem cake, and mix. What? Don't use neem. Okay. Why, Monty? All my studies suggest neem oil is really good on the leaves. Why would you suggest not to use it when I said you should? I just wondered why. Thanks, Lene, for the support. Ashes as a neem tree. There is apparently nanotechnology out there where you add a bit of caliper cell to bioclay and feed it to your plant. The plant recognizes this as a pathogen and then pushes out defenses. Okay. Nanotechnology is really amazing, but it'd have to be no. That's Bacillus thuringiensis you've explained. I think that's how BT's made. It's a part, they get it out of the guts of the bacteria of the caterpillar, and I think that's BT you just explained, Peter. Well done, mate. Indeed. Yep, citronella, Janella. Yep. American one. Here you go, buddy. All right. Talking about using the leaves. All right, that's not to do with me, someone else. I crush up leaves and put them on top of the soil and around the base. Oh, good work, mate. That'll help you for getting rid of things in the soil because they're acidirected. Hey, Neighbourhood Grows, how's it going, mate? Good vibes, he reckons. It sure is when you're around. Finished. Nice one. Walking lightly. I think neem cake is made up of. It's not made of. Neem. It is. It's ground up everything, all of the stuff. But neem cake they use when they're making they're getting the azadirachtin out of the seeds. That's the ground up pulp that's left afterwards. Safe as, don't like to spray in the sun. Yep. You can. The sun thing's all right. From my things, you just water it down a bit. Use Dr. Bronner's hemp soap and neem tour of alcohol. Okay. The butterfly has been shown up here late this year. Well, the Monarch Butterfly probably it's I put it in a few shows a while ago about the Monarch Butterfly, how the people in the USA, the lower 48, have used too much pesticides, and they've killed off the plants that the Monarch Butterfly is attracted to. So it's apparently it's getting less and less. So I used to like seeing that when I was in BC. I've ever bought packets. I've only ever bought it in packets. I don't have a tree. If I did, I would have read what bit they use. Well, it works really well, really well from my studies. I think he means silicons to harden up cell walls. Yes, I'm not sure, Stoney. Awesome. Cheers. Thank you, Critter. Yay one. Here you go, Yay one. Sounds great, Monty. Pound of Farmer. Those little silverfish moths everywhere. I've never seen as many or realistic except on the spray cans. Geez, that sucks for you. Foliar spray those creeps with rotation of alkaline water. Yes, alkaline water kills a lot of things because it's the pH changes shitloads of stuff. It's amazing. Like alkaline, did you know that I was looking for a chart the other day, I've got one that I couldn't find, that microbes and fungi, they live in certain pHs. So if you go out of that range, there's a high chance, like pH 10, there's no bacteria up there, or the bacteria that can survive are the extremophile ones. So the chances are so low. There you go, one. Ben, how's it going? All right, this is a fucking long show. Because it says on the bottle of neem oil you can only use a maximum of 3 times while plant is in veg. Yeah, okay, that's what the bottle says. Must be a reason for that. G'day. If you want to use it more, you can dull it down a bit. No, it's not BT. As far as I'm aware, BT is just in soil. No, I'm not 100% sure either, mate. I just thought that's where BT comes from, though. Unless it's another one that I'm thinking of, another beneficial, but they extract it from the guts of a grub, and that's where. Oh, hang on, it is a different. No, it is. It's BT because I'm sure I did a video on that not long ago. Far out. I've heard it makes plants toxic. What makes plants toxic? Well, plants are bioaccumulators, so they do suck up a lot of things. So if the manufacturer says, a limit is that times you use it, it can't be good to use in the plants. Well, they've also said that the foliar sprays that you're supposed to be doing it once or twice a week at their levels that they say, they're all wrong. If you do it at 10% of what they say, you can spray it 2 times a day. That's just from experience. Neem cake's what's left after pressing it. Yeah. Yep. Well said. Stony. Blinky, g'day all. Been listening for an hour. Most informative, great stuff. CC in chat. Thanks, Blinky. Good on you, mate. What part do they press the oil out of? The seed mostly. They do it out of the leaves, but the azadirachtin is mainly, they do it a lot of seeds. But the leaves is also pressed, but you don't get much out of the leaves. That's the thing. Did Aussie just say the seed? There you go. I just sure did. I'm going down. I believe it's time to harvest. In other words, certain should be made. In other words, you should not use it before harvest. You want to use anything on spraying flowers unless you want to smoke them, unless you want to taint them with anything. I don't advise anything. I just harvested my first canna plant. Well done, Blinky. If you don't like jumping ants, Queensland assassin bugs stay away from my plants. Wow. Hey, look at that. This is a bit of a good bug one. I'm into ants. I study ants part-time. It's called myrmecology. I love ants. I've studied them for bloody shit decades. Made heaps of ant farms. I've actually bred some ants. I'll stay away from those jumping ants. Yeah. Neem tree. Stony. Baker. Aussie Grow Show. New member. Thanks, Aussie Grow Show, for support. Sorry, I meant neem oil could make it toxic, but I don't know for myself. Neem oil, just dilute it. Neem oil works extremely well. Bong on. Yes. Hook the bottle says that. Hook the bottle. I was talking to Hook. Okay. Couple. All right. I'm going to have to end it here. This is friggin' long ads. Oh no, Baker's got one. Got a couple of those Blinky. Going to pop in December. Herbies. All right. Very good. I'd love to ask about DNA-based sequences, etc. on cannabis. Ask next time. I've only got one DNA chart of a plant. Sorry, I'll put it in the end of the video that I was talking about genetics. Maybe next time today. Yes, that would be good, Huda. We can go on about that next time, next week. Next week is I'll just share, present. I'm wrapping it up here. Next week is on smart fertilizers. Nope, that was a few weeks ago. There you go. Next week is on this. Oh, I'm not going to show you. Shit. But it's fertigation, not fertilization, fertigation. And that means it's how to precision agriculturally feed your plants to not have runoff, not have waste, not leave them deficient or toxic. You want to have them in sufficient, so you get a good yield. I'm also going to put up the yield math. There's a little summation that we can work out for yield. It's pretty interesting, actually, to know what sort of parameters you can adjust to increase your yield. And what's the other thing in there? Stoner entrepreneurships. Okay, well, some more stoner entrepreneurships. That's next week's. So thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you for Aussie Grow Shows, your new support, and Baker for support. I appreciate it. And that's about it. It's been nearly an hour 20 has been the longest. So good on you, everybody. 25 watching. Wow. Up there with a record too. So I hope you get well soon, Dr. Nexus. And cheers, everybody. Happy growing, happy breeding, and good health to you all. Good night and goodbye.